and it's day one and you walking in there on the first day, man, you in there, man. But you feel something. It's right in here, man. And it's screaming, and it's yelling, and it's saying, release me. And it's saying, I am the number one determinant of the success or failure of my students. Hey, y'all, when you get back, kick some butt, and I'll see you in the winner's circle celebrating your victory. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! You got this! You got this! You got this! Thank everybody.
See, so I'm reading the book, and here's this paragraph. Oh my goodness. It blew me away, blew my mind. Let me share it with you, and then I'm going to move on. Paragraph said, when you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or over yonder. He will find his quote unquote proper place, and he will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he'll cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary, period.
And we are live. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to week 199. I got to say that again, y'all, because I was supposed to end at 18. Week 199 of the AP and New Principals Academy. Let me see who we got in the building. I know we started a few minutes late. Me and the brothers we were talking, man. I forgot I got to do a platform, do a broadcast this morning. We got Mona Obamolak in the building. She said greetings to my wife and myself. We got David Isaacson in the building. Honored to have you here, Brother David. Takesha High out there in Virginia. Grace Castaneda out there in Kyle, Texas. Tara Woodard, North Carolina. Rodney Richardson, Hampton, Virginia. We got Constance Sherrod in Mississippi. Jax Lope Rollier. I know I messed that up, Jack. I think it's Jax out in Montclair. We got Tashika Truesdale in Atlanta. Marsha Poe out there in San Diego. I'll be in San Diego. When I'm gonna go there? I'll be there in 2 weeks. I'll be out there in San Diego for one day, man. Can't even take advantage of that weather. Dr. Rella Hicks is in the building. Dr. Demetrius Scott, Donna Medina Shara Gantz in the building. AP Yolanda McKinney is in the building. Principal Josh Tovar is in the building. Principal Otis Kitchen II is in the building. Where we at? I see the queen. My wife, Kimberly Broughton Kafele, the queen of all this, y'all. The castle. Private joke, y'all. Where we at? We got Dr. Stacy Ann B in the building. Dr. Sheikah Houston, man, she dropping all them nuggets, all that. She dropping science. That's what she's dropping this morning, along with Dr. Tammy Taylor. And that was preceded by Sean Hurt, man. He was bringing it, man. He talking about that test preparation, man. You might want to go back and watch that video later on because them standardized assessments are coming. He was dropping it, man. I know he wanted to go another hour or so. He was bringing it. Man, we got Central Hicks in the building. Portia Ojigbo is in the building down in D.C. Dr. Donald E. Thompson Jr., good morning, sir. I'm getting ready to cut it off, sorry, folks, because I'm getting ready to get started. We got Jacqueline Harriet in Nova Scotia. She's going to be with me in March. We're going to do a little international thing, man. It's going to be all international women on that broadcast. It's going to be beautiful. JS is in the building. Lisa DeBose Walker is in the building. Tawanda McClendon, Meriden, Mississippi is in the building. I see you. Sean Hurts in the building. September Devon Vance Daniels is here. I'm getting ready to close it down. Melissa Jones Chuno, those of you who are family members, make sure you keep Melissa in your prayers, right? Keep her in your prayers. She's been rocking with me since day one. So keep her in your prayers as she battles her health challenges, which I'm sure she's coming around. Jennifer Ramos is in the building. Is that Jennifer from North Tech in the building? I see you, Jennifer Ramos. Good to see you. Good to see you. Where we at? I like to close out with one of my local homies, man. Let me see if I can find a local homie. I see Edwin Garcia. He's in Passaic, so that's a local homie. Let me see if I see any more. We are East Orange people at, man. Oh, I see one right here. I see two, so I'm gonna end up with them. Hafiz Melton. His daughter was in my school, man. So good morning to you. And then I got this is the best note to end on right here. This my man, y'all. Listen, this one of the teachers that I had at North Tech, in Principal Williams, who's going to be one of my guests today. We got none other than the doctor, Joseph Dedalonis, in the building. That's my man. That was one of my teachers, y'all. I celebrated him back when I was in the building, and I celebrate him today. Good to see you, Doc. Good to see you. Good to see you. I just did something funny with my screen, but I got it back. All right, y'all, let's get started, man. We got a big session today. So let me say formally to everybody today, let me fix my screen. Here we go. Good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 199. 199, you know what that means? That means next week is 200. But let me stay with my spiel. Week 199. And listen, y'all, I don't know about you. I don't know how you feeling. Those of you on the East Coast, I don't know how you feel about all that snow that was outside when you woke up this morning, right? But I'm 63. I ain't shoveling no snow never again in life. Those days are behind me. Somebody gonna shovel that snow, right? So, but I'm not doing it, right? But I'm gonna tell you something. Despite all my travel issues this week, just the running, just the doing what I do, I want you to just know how I feel to launch this broadcast this morning. Y'all hear that? On! Y'all hear that? Fire! Woo! Y'all know I got to release that every morning, man, every Saturday morning. I don't do that every day. I be in the hotels, man, and people throw me out, right? But here, it's a good release, man. Try it sometime. Just, when I got the East Orange guest on today, right? They all know this gentleman. One of my colleagues back in the day, his name was Steve Cowan, Dr. Steve Cowan. And when I was a rookie, I'll never forget this, man. I was a rookie. He said, "Hey, Kafele," he said, "sometime you got to go up on the roof." Right? He said, go, and I know I see the three of y'all know Cowan, so he would say something like this. He said, Kafele, sometime just go up on the roof of the school, because we were 3 schools in a complex, right? So 3 separate buildings in this complex. He said, go up on the roof and just scream. He told me that. He said, just go up on the roof and just scream as loud as you can. Release. That might be where I got this "I'm on fire" from. Because he told me that my first year as an administrator. He said, go up on the roof and just let it loose. Scream as loud as you can. I never forgot that. So that might be what's in my subconscious. It inspired me to scream every Saturday morning on here. So let me do my rundown, y'all, because we got a big one. Hit that share button, hit the retweet, hit the repost, tag somebody, tag them principal groups, those leadership groups on Facebook. Call someone, text someone, let them know we here, man. We got the big session today with the brothers. So shout out to Success for All Foundation. I keynoted for them in Nashville this past week, man. That we had a time. They gave me this nice hoodie, man. I've been wearing that thing all week, man. But yeah, shout out to Success for All Foundation. Shout out to DC Public Schools in Washington, DC. They got a category of administrators called instructional superintendents. So we were in the room all morning with the instructional superintendents, just talking instructional leadership in various different degrees. And shout out to them. If any of y'all are on here from DC Public Schools or Successful All Foundation, great to see you. And then for the rest of the week, some of you would know I went kind of ballistic making videos. I created a series called "So You Want to Be a Professional Speaker? Let's Talk," and I recorded, I think, about 5 or 6 hours of content. Right? I just went ballistic. I'm giving it all away. I could charge $1,000 a head to do this. I could make $100,000 in a weekend just talking about how to become a speaker. And I decided, no, I'm not going for that money. I'm just going to give it away. Go to the YouTube channel, AP and New Principals Academy, and just watch, take notes, learn something, and get out here. If speaking is your dream, or if it will add value to the work you do, then I'm giving it to you for free. I'm giving it all. I still got that's four videos, but I still got to record number 5. Right. Number 5 is the administrative aspects of the work. So we're going to get that done real soon. And then you do what you want to do. It. Send me an email and say, thank you. You put some money in my pocket, Kafele, or thank you. You made me a better speaker, or thank you. You made me a little bit more organized. You know, whatever it is, whatever you want to thank me for. But you make sure you thank me, because I'm giving you gold. I'm giving you diamonds. I'm giving you platinum. And I'm not asking you for a dime in return. All you got to do is go to the channel, AP and New Principals Academy, and watch the videos. So you want to be a speaker, a professional speaker? Let's talk about it. Make sure that while you're at that channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you check out my shorts, man. I do this thing called Midweek Fire. I try to do it on Wednesday, but sometimes Wednesday's schedule won't allow, so I do it on Tuesday. But it's Midweek Fire, 60-second videos, and just bringing some fire to some folks who are working extremely hard all week, want to give you a little boost of energy, right? So Midweek Fire on the AP and New Principals Academy channel every Wednesday. I don't know what time, it varies whenever my schedule allows me to do the video and then post the video. Be sure to like and follow the AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page. Also, join me in I'm getting ready to say Orlando. Join me in Houston, Texas, at the School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele. We're going to be two big days, July 9 and 10. Again, July 9 and 10, School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele in Houston, Texas, in person. So the fam, we're going to be on the road together. So come on and join me. I'm going to put a heavy-duty emphasis on instructional leadership for those 2 days. We'll talk about other things, but I'm going to put a heavy-duty emphasis there. What is my value to the teachers that I supervise instructionally is the title I'm going to use for that portion of it. We'll talk about other things, but I think that's a piece that we miss in leadership. So, you can't talk instructional leadership without talking school culture, right? Because the culture has to be conducive for you to be that instructional leader you want to be. If that culture is pulling you in other directions to do so many other things, then you can't be the instructional leader that you aspire to become, right? So we'll talk about those 2 things. So join me in Houston. Go to principalkafele.com. Once again, principalkafele.com. Scroll down to the announcements section and you'll see the link. Go click the link, register, and I'll see you in Houston, July 9 and 10. Real quick, gotta do this, y'all. I know folks say, come on, get to the interview or the conversation. I will, but y'all gotta know that I'm an author, man. If you don't have the Assistant Principal 50, this is the biggest book I ever wrote. It stays in like the top 5 on Amazon. It's always there, right? Under the administration section. So get yourself a copy. I wrote it in 2019, published it in 2020, but it's still one of the hottest books on Amazon for administrators. So get yourself a copy. And then while you're there, get my newest one, the Assistant Principal Identity, right? And then while you're there, get the Aspiring Principal 50, right? So if you aspire to become a principal, whether you're not an administrator or you're assistant principal, this is for you too. And then while you're there, get the Principal 50, because you're going to be a principal one day, most of you. So get that, or you already are one. And while you're there, get, is my school a better school because I lead it, right? That's the quintessential question. I can't think of a better question to ask of oneself. Is my school a better school because I lead it? But I'll call that 1A. 1B, what is my value to the teachers that I supervise instructionally? Hint, hint, that might be the title of the next book. And while you're there, make sure you get the Equity and Social Justice Education 50, right? That's my second newest, right? So and then I got some more down there, but we do that another time. I got 3 guests coming on, so I ain't gonna show you all these books. Where we at? Hit that share button, hit that retweet button, hit that repost button, tag somebody, call somebody, text somebody. I got one more thing, and that's my monologue, and then we get going, y'all. You know, I always do my monologue. My monologue is called "It's That Interviewing Season. What Makes You Shine." We in that season now, y'all. It's that interviewing season. What makes you shine? And here's what I'm saying. Right now, it's thousands of people applying for the same jobs. That 1 or 2 assistant principal vacancies, that 1 or 2 principal vacancies, but within your district, it's hundreds of y'all vying for the same position, right? Nationwide, thousands of people vying for these few positions. And then when we don't get them, we get discouraged. We're frustrated. We make all sorts of excuses. Here's what I'm saying. You might want to put your ear right to your speaker on this. And I'm telling you how I got all my jobs. Let me say that to you too. I'm telling you how they hired me as a teacher, and I'm telling you how they hired me in my 4 principalships right now. I'm giving you the secret. I'm giving you the secret sauce. It had nothing to do with my resume. It had nothing to do with me responding to a want ad. It had nothing to me responding to a job posting. None of that stuff mattered because I'm competing with everybody else. It had nothing to do with the fancier letterhead on the resume. None of that. It was because I positioned myself. Let me pause on that one. Let that one marinate. It's because of the way I positioned myself. I went to no interview where the folks doing the interviewing didn't know who I was before I walked in the door. You better put your ear to the speaker. I made sure that I had shine on me. I made sure they knew what I do. They knew what I was about. They knew what I already accomplished. They were well aware. I made sure I stayed in them local newspapers, man. So I'm a teacher. I'm in the local newspapers at least once a month, if not 2 to 3 times a month. That's when I was a classroom teacher. So everybody's seeing them articles. So when it's time to interview, oh, that's that dude. That's Kafele. Oh, he be in the paper all the time. I got all the articles. They sitting right in the scrapbook down here. Right. So then as an AP, watch this. I'm an assistant principal, but I got that media mindset now. Somebody. I've been on the papers all them years as a teacher. I mean, every month they got something, man. We doing something in that class. I mean, we just doing class stuff, the stuff we do. But I'm saying I need the world to know what we doing in them classrooms. Hear me, somebody. I had to position myself. So let me let them know. So now 2 people benefit. My kids benefiting from the way we delivering that instruction. But I'm benefiting as well because I need to get some shine because I want to go to the next level and I need people to see that I exist. It ain't me going in there blind, everybody else interviewing for the same position and nothing distinguishes me from them. It got to be them and it got to be you. Let me take me out of it. It's got to be them and it's got to be you. What is it about your track record? What is it about your accomplishments? What is it about your reputation? What is it about your brand? And see, I didn't have social media back in them days. Ain't nothing about no social media. It didn't exist. Y'all got that now. So now you can use it strategically. So I'm using the newspaper. I have to go to a reporter and convince him I'm worthy of him or her doing a story on me and my classroom. Y'all ain't got to do that. All you got to do is go to your daggone phone and type something good about yourself. I ain't had that. I got to call you, hey, reporter, listen, you'll benefit from this story. See, I gotta be able to sell the benefit. Y'all don't hear me, man. Y'all don't hear me. I got to sell the benefit. So if I can sell the benefit that it's not just a win for me, it's a win for you. Y'all don't hear me. So I'm not even saying, I'm not advocating that you be in the newspaper. What I am saying is you got to position yourself so that as you walk glow around you. There's a shine that you bring when you enter a room. So now when it's time for you to apply for that job, oh, they got to go through the legal procedure of interviewing everybody, but they know they want you. Now, if you just now if you somebody, I'm getting ready to end this. I got to guess. But if you are somebody who you just going to write your resume, write your cover letter, mail it in, email it in, whatever it is now. I don't even do this no more, so I don't know what it is. I don't know the process. So, but however you get it to the next person, and then you hoping what you're going to go to your local church and give an extra prayer, and you think that's what's going to get you the job. See, I mean, I know I got a pastor on here too. I probably shouldn't even said that, right? So let me pull that back, right? The prayer matters. Don't get me wrong, right? The prayer matters. I got a pastor on here, and I'm talking like this, right? The prayer matters, right? But you got to do the work. See, prayer without work, then I don't know that you're going to get what you want. So it got to be the work too that distinguishes you, that makes you distinct from the masses of the people. I'm going to leave that right there, y'all. I'm going to leave that right there. Hey, y'all, hit that share button. I'm ready to bring up my guests. I got the OG, I got the vet, I got the rookie, right? I got all three, and I ain't have to tell neither one of them which one they were. They knew, but Dr. Stallings did sit right to me. He said, I guess I'm the OG. Let me bring these brothers up here, man, and I got to change my background. Oh, yeah. Hey, brothers. Good to see you. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Kafele.
Yeah.
Go easy on him, Webb. Go easy.
I know,
he cleaned it up, Webb. He cleaned it up. He pivoted.
No, he brings the word. Thank you.
I cleaned it up, man. I'm so happy to see y'all, man. Y'all just knowing, see, I can see y'all in the background, and just seeing y'all, knowing you're here, y'all got me acting a little crazy. I don't usually get this crazy, but when you got, I got fam in the building today, you know what I'm saying? So I got the East Orange fam. Stallings is honorary East Orange because he's been working there half his life. So he's East Orange too. That's hey, right. Y'all, to the fam out there, let me we got the president of Kane University, the former New Jersey Commissioner of Education, former superintendent of Asbury Park Schools, the former principal of Carteret High School, and the former teacher at Costley Middle School. Hey, Rep, I should be doing your bio because I know your story, right? So we got Dr. Lamont Repollet in the building, and I might say proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Incorporated. See, so I if you ever need me, to be your hype man, I come out and introduce you on the platform, Lamont Repollet, Dr. Repollet. Hey, y'all, let's get it started, man. My guests, y'all, they very well accomplished. They all sent me these long bios. I had to, for the first time in 199 weeks, I had to edit these, right? They were I ain't never done that before. Can y'all hear me? The fam, y'all know I read them all. I had to edit these because when it was spilling into a second page, they were spilling into page 2. I said, no, we ain't doing that this morning, right? So let me read you it's still long because I wanted y'all to get a sense of who's on this screen, but I had to edit these. Dr. Vincent L. Stallings brings to the fore an illustrious 27-year legacy of unwavering dedication to the field of education, particularly within the East Orange School District. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Stallings has remained steadfast in the pursuit of excellence, serving as catalyst for fostering a culture of academic achievement, growth, and inclusivity within schools. His breadth of experience spans all levels of education, endowing him with a profound understanding of the educational journey and enabling him to address the diverse needs of students at every stage of development with a holistic perspective. He firmly believes that the role of principal demands a steadfast commitment to meeting the diverse needs of the student population, fostering collaborative relationships, providing visionary leadership that empowers every member of the educational community. His accolades, including recognition as Teacher of the Year and Essex County runner-up, underscore his genuine belief in the potential of every student and the paramount importance of cultivating environments where they can excel academically, socially, and emotionally. Throughout his tenure, Dr. Stallings has led elementary, middle, and high schools with a relentless focus on improving student academics, enhancing school climate and culture, and fostering staff productivity and performance. As a national recognized presenter on topics ranging from the educational leadership to school climate and culture, Dr. Stallings has served as a guiding light for aspiring, experienced educators alike, and emphasizing the pivotal role of intentional focus, leadership, and driving continuous improvement. Beyond his leadership roles, Dr. Stallings has made significant contributions as an adjunct professor in the curriculum and teaching department at Montclair State University. Sharing his wealth of knowledge and expertise with future educators, his passion for environmental science has taken him on extensive journeys throughout North, Central, and South America, where he has studied the flora and fauna of diverse rainforest ecosystems. Lastly, currently serving as the principal of East Orange STEM Academy, Dr. Stallings continues to exemplify his commitment to excellence in education. Under his stewardship, the Academy is consistently ranked among the top 100 high schools in New Jersey, as recognized by U.S. News and World Report.
Nice.
For 4 consecutive years, and has produced the East Orange School District's first ever New Jersey State Teacher of the Year. Dr. Stallings holds master's degrees in environmental management and educational administration and supervision from Montclair State University. He completed his Seton Hall University's Aspiring Superintendents Program in 2006 and earned a doctorate in educational leadership from Seton Hall University in 2015 as part of cohort 16. He currently resides in Edison, New Jersey. Next, we got the good doctor and pastor, Stephen Webb. Dr. Stephen Webb's journey from I want y'all to hear this, y'all, because we're going to talk a little bit about this. Dr. Stephen Webb's journey from custodian to esteemed educator and administrator is a powerful narrative of perseverance, dedication, and the transformative impact of education. His story encapsulates the power of education and self-determination, showcasing how hard work and unwavering commitment can lead to the remarkable achievements. Starting humbly as a custodian in the East Orange School District, Dr. Webb's ascent through the ranks is a testament to his determination to make a difference in the lives of students and the broader community. He currently serves as principal of New Horizon Community Charter School in Newark, New Jersey. Understanding his dedication to fostering a positive learning environment and empowering both students and staff. Raised in East Orange, New Jersey, Dr. Webb's deep roots in the community fuel his passion for making a difference in the lives of others. His role as principal of New Horizon Community Charter School, former building administrator at Fresh Start Academy, Middle High School, and Adult Academic Basic Education Center in East Orange, and principal of the Renaissance Alternative Education Program in Newark, exemplify his dedication to providing quality education and support services to students of all ages and backgrounds. His leadership as a pastor at New Life Christian Church and Christian Center underscores his holistic approach to community development, addressing not only educational, but also spiritual, physical, and mental well-being. The various programs offered at the church, including daycare, mental health agency, and a community health care clinic, reflect his commitment to addressing the diverse needs of his community. Dr. Webb's academic achievements, including his doctorate of ministry from New York Theological Seminary, Master of Education from St. Peter's College, Master of Divinity from New York Theological Seminary, and Bachelor's of Arts from Sociology from Montclair State University, highlight his commitment to lifelong learning and professional development. These credentials equip him with the knowledge and skills necessary to effectively lead and inspire others. Finally, Dr. Webb is a family man with a lovely wife, Sandra Webb, and 5 beautiful children, Jackie, Anthony, Tiffany, Daniel, and Stephanie. He is the author of 3 books, Reclaiming Your Dreams, Inspirational Reflections that will motivate, inspire, and create a positive mindset to maximize potential. Where do we go from here? Assessing the health of a church started in the new millennium. And his latest book is entitled From Mop to Mentor, My Journey from Janitor to School Administrator. And finally, our Principal Jenabu Williams was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. He's a product of Newark and East Orange, New Jersey public school education. In 1992, he graduated from Clifford J. Scott High School, where he excelled in track and field throughout high school and college. Upon graduating from high school, Mr. Williams attended Montclair State University, where he became Division III All-American in track and field. Mr. Williams graduated from MSU with a BA in sociology. He also obtained his master's degree in public administration from Rutgers University and a second master's in educational leadership from Montclair State University. Mr. Williams is in his third year of his doctorate in education leadership program at Kane University, where he looks forward to defending his study in May 2025. Mr. Williams truly enjoys educating and empowering youth and has worked with youth and families throughout his professional career. He's the former executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metro North, associate executive director of YMCA of Eastern Union County in Essex County, New Jersey, and special education supervisor in Patterson Public Schools. Mr. Williams started his education career as a crisis intervention teacher in Newark Public Schools. He became an elementary and high school special ed teacher with stops in Plainfield, Patterson Public Schools. After serving as the vice president of East Orange Board of Education, he was privileged to gain extensive knowledge of educational policies and ethics. Mr. Williams is a champion for educational equity, and he is currently the principal at Essex County Vocational Schools, Newark Tech, in Newark, New Jersey. As a result of his leadership, Mr. Principal Williams believes that Newark Tech will set the standard for CTE and academic excellence and become the #1 school of choice in Essex County. Mr. Williams is also president and CEO of JAB Educational Leadership Development LLC. Through this company, Mr. Williams trains educational professionals on innovative education and leadership strategies to increase student achievement. Finally, Principal Williams believes in the Nelson Mandela quote, "Education is the most powerful tool we can use to change the world." Because of this belief, Mr. Williams spends countless hours educating, motivating, inspiring, and encouraging youth to do their best and manifest their destiny. He resides in Essex County, New Jersey, and is the loving wife of, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Benet, of 23 years, and their 2 wonderful sons. Is it Ade?
Ade.
And Joshua. Woo! I'm tired, y'all. We're going to shut it down now. See you next week. Hey, man, I had to share all that, man, because, hey, to the fam out there, I use these bios as inspiration. I see Chris Gaston in the building, got to shout you out. And I see John W. Cook in the building, John W. Cook III in the building, got to shout you out. I appreciate y'all too. So to the fam out there, we got a lot to talk about. So let me just jump into it. Block out like 2 hours on your schedule, right? Let's stay together because these brothers going to talk about some stuff this morning. Dr. Stallings, I want to start with you. You have been a principal for 20 years. And I did the math. That means since I left East Orange, you became principal, and you've been doing this for 20 years. And I consider the principalship to be one of the most complex, challenging positions in all of workforces across the world. And one of the reasons, the sole reason, Doc, that I consider it that is because there are not many leadership positions where you're going to find somebody that leads 2 very different populations of people simultaneously. So like if I'm leading an organization, a company, whatever, it's typically adults. But in a school, we got masses of children right here, a staff that leads, that teaches those children right here. And as principal, we lead the 2 entities simultaneously at the same time. Right. But then along with that, there's this accountability that comes with it from the district. There's accountability that comes from the parents. There's accountability that comes from the community. There's accountability that comes from municipal government. There's accountability that comes from state government. There's accountability that comes from the students themselves and the staff themselves. So my question to you with that very long buildup, with all that pressure, Doc, why does Dr. Vincent L. Stallings continue to walk into the building after 20 years of principal leadership?
Yeah, that's a high-powered question there, but I do it because someone did it for me. We stand on the shoulders of great folks.
That's right.
I start with my parents. I start with my grandparents. You see that picture behind? That's my grandfather, probably about 16 in World War I, 17, right? Trying to make a way for his family. My maternal grandparents run out of the South, coming up north, trying to make a better way for their family. So we do that in the spirit of giving back to those ancestors that laid the pathway for us. If it were not for them, none of us would be here. That's real.
Yeah.
That's not to be, and I don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
So every day that I look in the mirror, with not just me, my reflection staring back at me, but those ancestors who came before us, who gave so much to make sure that, in some cases, just having food on the table, putting a roof on top of your head, right? Forget the multi-million dollars that we see our community making now, but just the very basics of life.
Yeah, I love it. Every time I go to East Orange, I make a beeline to 76 Everett Street. That's the house I grew up in. But I think about everything you just said, because my grandmother came out of Virginia, escaping the segregation in the South, and came up here, and somehow I still don't understand it. Purchased this 3-story house, one family, 3-story, one family house, and brought all her siblings up here, and they lived in that house with her, right? But and she was a maid. For all her adult life, a maid cleaning. Let me keep it real, cleaning white folks' homes and cooking for them, right, including holidays. And then at age 60, goes back to school to get her nursing degree, right? So when you said that, it took me back there, and I know my mother's on here, and she loves you to death, and she, yeah. So I know she's reminiscing on the same thing, So that's. I just love what you said, and I just had to throw that piece in there.
And if I could, I just want to add, every step of my life's journey, there has always been someone there to extend that baton, that rope, that hand. So in that vein, in that spirit, I would be remiss if I didn't approach my work in that manner.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to throw one more at you before I go to Webb. You taught at the elementary level, and you've led at the middle and high school level. So you've worked at all levels. So my question to you is, of the three, what is the one that's most personally rewarding for you, and why?
I also led at the elementary level. Yeah. And I would say that probably the elementary level. Probably the elementary level, because that's the foundation. Right. And there's so much that could be done in that environment, in elementary environment. I really enjoyed elementary while I was there.
I love teaching them young babies myself. I never met them, but I love teaching them.
And the ones that I taught in elementary school over at Bowser, Howard now, Ashland, they're in their roughly in their 30s now, 30, they hit you up and let you know about those lessons you taught them that you forgot about.
Yeah.
And what an impact it has had on their lives. So elementary has a special place in my heart, the foundational years.
Yeah, and you're right about that hitting us up, because my first kids, they're in their 40s. Some of them are approaching their 50s now, and they still hit me up on social media, and they tell me what the common thread that they tell me, whether it be students that left North Tech, which would be more recently, all the way to PS 221 in Brooklyn, which was back in the 80s. They all kind of say the same thing. Kafele, you were ahead of your time. Right. And that word woke is in their generation. For our generation, the word is conscious. And they'll say to me, you were woke before there was a woke. Right. And I hear that all the time, because what they're saying to me is, you see, now that they're adults and they process differently, you were exposing us to things that is not normal. Right? You were saying things to us that were not normal. Some of them would even say you were saying things that would get you fired. Right? I'm saying I'm glad you picked up on that now. You were too young to understand that back then. Right? But they're saying that, man, you were putting your job on the line. Yeah, I was. Right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'll say this one last point, if you will allow me. If you ever had doubts about what this work is all about, if you had any confusion of what this work is all about, any disappointment, all you have to do is walk in to a pre-K class or a kindergarten class, and you know your life was work, and you know your purpose.
Yeah,
and you gotta be there to kind of understand that.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. I love it. Let me go to Dr. Webb. Hey, Dr. Webb. In 1992, I walked into Ashland School in the 4th Avenue building as a result of Dr. Elise Griffith at the time, now Elise King, having faith in me as a teacher, a new teacher. It wasn't a first year, but it was first time in New Jersey. And here was this head custodian who I would consider, and I'm not saying it's because you're on the platform, I'm saying it because it's what I know, probably the friendliest person in the building.
Wow.
Right? This head custodian, Mr. Webb, as we called you. And so I was in that building 92 until we left to go to our new building, because that was just a stopgap until they built the new building. So I was in there until I guess we left in 94, 95, right? But here you were with us as the head custodian. My question to you, at what point, and it may not have been then, but at what point did you begin to envision Dr. Stephen Webb? At what point, let me add to that question, at what point did you begin to envision teacher Mr. Webb? At what point did you begin to envision Principal Webb? At what point did you begin to envision Pastor Webb, given that I met you as head custodian Webb? And just to be clear, I'm not throwing any shade on the role of custodian.
That's right.
Right, at all. It's just that for whatever the reason, you decided that I wanted to go in a different direction. Right. So with that, when did that start for you?
Well, thank you, Mr. Brother Kafele. I remember the day you came to the school, man, and all that you brought to the school. My trajectory has been one that I like to think of it as divinely guided, and it's just developed. When I was head custodian, I would take my shirts to the cleaners and get them pressed, because I knew that I wanted to do more, and I wanted to even show excellence even then in everything that I did, whether it was interacting with the students, ensuring the building was clean, making sure it was safe and clean for staff and students. So I wanted to show excellence even then. So I would take my shirts to the cleaners, head custodian with, but and then there, because I was in the educational setting, I had every opportunity to grow. So this is back in the 90s. We didn't have laptops and all. So secretaries would type my papers for school. I'm in school, and head secretary would type my paper up after I've written it out. And so I've always had help. As Dr. Stallings was saying, I've always had help. And so that was my trajectory. I went to, now mind you, I had gone to Hampton Institute, played ball down there. But because of some of the mistakes I've made in life, I didn't finish. And so when I came back from Hampton, I was working in East Orange as a custodian. I had to go back to school. After 3 years of Hampton Institute, I took my 7 credits. I didn't say 70, I said 7. And and came back and went to Essex County, and then I went to Montclair State and was hired as a teacher by Laura Trimmings in 1995. And so my trajectory has been divinely inspired, but I consider myself as and that's in the pastorate, the ministry, as well as school, that I consider education a ministry. So and that's the way I approach it. And that's what I bring everything I have into my educational settings, whether it's in the classroom or as a school leader. And so I consider it sacred. Education is sacred to me. And growing up in East Orange, I've seen, standing on the shoulders of giants, I've always seen Black educators. I've seen Black educators and Black administrators, from Garfield Jackson, who was my elementary principal.
Oh.
Charlie Haynes, who was my at Stockton School. Roosevelt Weaver, Frank Penn. So all these gentlemen, I've seen great examples and role models. And so I aspired to, had no other choice but to aspire to what I saw growing up in East Orange in the 70s, 80s. And so that's been my journey.
I love it. And just for point of information, we got spam, so I had to go to my phone, if y'all saw me looking down and all that, to delete or block this person who was spamming everybody on the call, right? So we good now. I want to say to you, Dr. Webb, you're in a new school, and you've been in a few in these leadership positions. Let me put Vicky Gary up here, because she worked with us. So here she is. Yeah. So you worked in a few different locations. I led 4 different schools over 3 different districts. And here's what I like in that too. You go to a suit store to buy a suit, right? You're not going to adjust your body to fit into the suit. You're going to have the tailor the suit, alter the suit so that it fits your body as is. Y'all hear me? I'm kind of preaching to the fam out here real quick on that one. Let me say that again in case somebody missed that. When you go buy your suit or your outfit, whatever you buy, you're not going to see the outfit. Now let me go to the gym for a year so that I can fit and change my diet so that I can fit into this suit. I mean, ultimately, that could be one of your big goals. But in the short term, you're going to have the tailor alter the suit so that ultimately the suit fits you the way you want it to fit. Well, I bounced around because I was looking for that school where I can be authentic Principal Kafele. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go to the gym, so to speak, air quotes, and reimagine my body, so to speak, so that I could fit into that place. I needed to come in there and just be me, and y'all embrace me for who and what I am. So given that, where once we get to these new schools, we're starting over because we're not in the old environment anymore. I tried bringing old me into new buildings, and I found that didn't always work. Mm-hmm. I got to adapt to what's there and then build from there. So my question to you, Webb, Dr. Webb, you're at a new school. What has been your greatest challenge as being the new kid on the block in your new environment?
Great question. Well, my first 90, I had a 60-day, 90-day plan. And I'm within that 90 days now, started in September, was to come in, observe, make sure, to see, what was going on, not to make any sweeping changes unless necessary. But when we come into a building, when I come to a building, I bring myself there. And so I change the climate. I'm really the thermostat, not the thermometer. And so the community is gauged now by my temperature. And so I've come in and I've embraced the community, the parents. I'm out there every day. And so they know who I am by now. And so changing climate and culture is key. And not to say that it was a bad climate and culture, but now I'm bringing who I am. So it's a friendly, inviting environment. When you come into the building, my security knows how to greet people like I would greet people. Now it's very secure building, but I bring everything to that. And now, you know, as I'm looking at all the data, so now I can start making those adjustments that I need. I didn't come in making sweeping changes, but changes that were necessary.
Yeah.
And so, but we were talking earlier about the interview process. When I go to an interview, I take over the interview because I know what I bring to the table. I know exactly. Not too many people, and it's not too many people know more about education than we do, right? So, and we bring to the table a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and so I've taken over interviews and said, you know, this is what I can bring. I can see myself here. This is what we're going to do, and so you know, that's been this. But the challenges, the greatest challenges, I guess getting people, and that takes time. Staff to trust us. You know, students are a lot easier. They want to see your presence. They want to see that you're fair, firm, and friendly. But just getting the staff to trust me and letting them know that I'm here not to get you, but I'm here to encourage and to give you the resources you need to be successful. So more of a coaching than a I got you situation. But I'm gonna coach everybody up so that we can all achieve success.
I want to stay with you before I go to you, Principal Williams. I want to stay with you on what you said, because I'm always mindful of the fam. I know that I always have guests that are here because of my guests. So viewers that are here because of the guests, but then I also have my fam who are just committed to this platform. So with that being said, you said take over the interview. And that resonated with me, because you like sports. I think all four of us love sports, as a matter of fact. And you know, like we'll watch a basketball game, and it's down to the wire, and one of those generational players like Steph Curry is playing, Bron is playing, Giannis is playing, Kawhi is playing, those types of players, and all of us in our mind. And we may even yell at this television screen, we want them to take over the game. We don't want Kawhi Leonard to pass the ball to somebody. We don't want Steph to look for an open guy. I mean, it could be smart basketball, but in terms of television drama, we want Steph to take that shot. Right back when Kobe, God bless his soul, when he was alive, we want Kobe to take the last shot. And quite frankly, Kobe wants the last shot, right? Kobe ain't passing that to nobody. That's Kobe's shot. So here's what I'm saying. What you said makes sense for someone out there that may not have heard you, because what they're doing at that moment, they are taking over the game. Y'all can go sit on the bench. I got this now. We have moaned that LeBron doesn't always do that, whereas Michael did. So like, why won't Bron take over the game now, right? We all say that, right? But so when we talk about that interview, hey, somebody out there, that wasn't cocky what he said. When you in that interview, you must shine.
Absolutely.
And if you sitting back, because this is interviewing season now, and this is when I'm gonna get all them emails from people, you know, asking me for advice. And I'm gonna send you right to them videos I got on YouTube. This thoughts to consider for the assistant principal job interview or principal job interview. But in the interim, you got to shine. You see this light on me on this camera? I'm shining, baby, right? And you got to shine when you in that interview. Right. That's that taking over that interview, right? So you're not going to just be passive and then you answer the question, give them the short answer. Nah, show that person I'm hungry. I want this job. Take over, dominate, take the last shot with 1 second left on the clock. Bang! That's how you got to do that. That's got to be your mindset. And I would dare say not just with an interview, but in your totality of your leadership. You got to lead that way. I don't mean your feet and your hands are in everything, but your leadership is felt throughout that building. That matters. That matters. Oh man, you got me preaching, man. Let me
Can I just say, now be prepared when you go into the interview. Know the school, know the demographics, know the data. Go in there prepared.
Yeah.
But you go and take over the interview. Oh, I can do this. We can do this, and I can see myself doing this. Not that you're gonna make sweeping change, because a lot of people, there's politics in that too. But just be prepared and take over the interview.
Oh my God, man, you gonna make me keep this as an interview video? Hey, somebody, you went to the interview and you don't know the school, you don't know the data, you don't know the community, you just showed up. Come on now, then you ain't getting that job. You got to go in there knowing that school as if you built the school.
Absolutely.
Hey, Principal Williams, let's go. I'm gonna make a statement before I ask you this question, and my statement is, you are the number one principal that I follow in America. Number one. I follow a lot of principals, y'all. You can imagine, because of the kind of work I do. But you lead North Tech, man. And I'm gonna tell you publicly on this platform, man. You leave me proud.
Thank you.
Every freaking day.
Thank
you. You traveled. Where'd you go? To University of Pennsylvania the other day?
Absolutely.
And, yeah. See, you leave me proud, man, because I bleed purple and white, man. We were trying to add black in there, purple, black, and white, but they were like, it was some folks in power. They were like, nah, y'all purple and white. Okay, that's black uniforms with the purple trim and all that. They like, nah. I won't even drop names, but people in authority like, nah, y'all purple and white. Okay, so we had to scrap them uniforms. I bleed that. So when I see what you're doing, man, the way the kids gravitate, and people that know me know that I'm a stickler for just greeting the kids in the morning. I see the videos, man. When even when the 49ers lost, you still rocked your chain, right?
Absolutely.
And greeting the kids and all, so it's, keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you on the chin.
What you're doing. Hey, Principal Williams, I remember in Atlantic City approximately 10 years ago, you and I think we were having lunch. I was speaking down there and I had some downtime and we were talking. And I remember vividly, you said you want to be a principal.
Absolutely.
And here you are, it's 10 years later, you've been an administrator, but you in that big seat now. And I want to ask you, when not the work itself, but the journey. That journey from that day in Atlantic City to your first day of appointment to the principalship. What was your biggest hurdle, if you can recall, toward getting to where you sit now? Are you at the school right now?
Absolutely.
It looks like it. Yeah, with the office that I didn't have the benefit of. They didn't do those renovations. I had the old office with the mice running around in the background. They say I don't know nothing about that, man. I had the office with the duct tape on the carpet until I finally convinced myself I need to change that. And one day I'm sitting there and I counted 4 mice run along the baseboard, right? So that's a different world you got there now. So holla at us, man. What was one of them biggest hurdles in the journey to get to where you are
now? So my voice is a little hoarse today because we had a pep rally on yesterday.
Oh, I know that.
Those high school pep rallies, what they can be like. So got my tea here, but I would be remiss if I didn't just acknowledge and just thank you for this opportunity. Before I answer the question, I remember in November 2018, I contacted you because I had been on 5 interviews to be an assistant principal. And I remember us having a conversation in 2018. Your videos wasn't out in 2013.
Right.
But when I contacted you in 2018, I remember you saying, check my videos out. I went on 5 interviews, never looked at the videos. I watched all of those videos, studied the videos, took notes from the videos, went on the next interview to be the assistant principal of the school where I'm at now, and walked out of there in a week with the job.
Yeah.
And And fast forward, I'm here today as a principal. So I just would be remiss if I didn't thank you publicly for all that you do. I told you, you were always been a mentor of mine, a virtual mentor. And I just want to say thank you, for that.
Appreciate you.
It's a pleasure to be here today with these two giants in education.
Yeah.
That being said, I think the one of the things is that I had to get over, similar to Dr. Webb, I know that my steps were ordered. There were people there. I mean, Dr. Stallings mentioned how someone was always there to pass that baton. I have always had people in my life. As a man of faith, I'm a PK. I come from humble beginnings in East Orange. My father's is an associate pastor. My mother's an elder. So my faith is something that's very important to me. It was instilled in me. And so for me, I just learned to appreciate the process. And I remember getting my principal certification back in 2017. And there was so many people in my ear saying, "Oh man, you should be a principal. You should be applying for principal jobs in 2017." And I'm just thank God that I had other mentors in my life. You mentioned Dr. Repollet, who's my fraternity brother, mentor, and friend. Others like Dr. Kevin West. I mean, these guys were in my ear constantly, like, ignore that. You need to be an assistant principal. You need to go through the process. And what I share with my students is the process. If you a caterpillar goes through the process of becoming a butterfly, it takes 4 weeks. But after week 2, if you put a flashlight on that cocoon, that caterpillar's already transitioned and it's a butterfly. If you take it out of that cocoon too soon, it's going to have all the attributes of a butterfly. However, maybe it can fly, but it won't fly high. Maybe it can fly, but it won't fly long. And while I was still in that cocoon process, I just thank God that I had mentors and people in my life that told me, stay right there. Because that process has me in a position right now where there is nothing, and I say this with the utmost humility, there is nothing that can happen in this building on any given day that I would feel like I can't handle. And I'm not saying that I can do it all, but I know I have a team and I have a network of people that I can tap into to address and to support me with whatever I'm dealing with on that day. Had I took that job or listened to people in 2017, when I first got that administrative cert, I could potentially be like that caterpillar, have all the attributes, but can't do the job and unable to sustain and to do the work that I'm doing today. So I think that one of the biggest hurdles, and again, is going back to the question, was just not stop listening to the noise, trusting the process. And, the journey was to get here, but it was the process that is going to sustain me and allow me to get here. All of the steps along the way, all of the coaching, all of the experiencing. I had a phenomenal principal that I worked under here, who's, Assemblywoman Carmen Morales. I got to say her name.
Yeah.
Who mentored me, who gave me every opportunity to be successful. So I think that's what probably my answer, Principal Kafele.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me stay with you, Doc. Principal Williams. When I was in AP, I stayed in the same building like yourself and became the principal. The transition was smooth because I think that my relationship with staff was solid. So the transition from being the AP to the principal at Sojourner Truth Middle School was fine. The challenge for me was I didn't know anything. I knew how to discipline kids, but that's pretty much where it stopped, right? So I had to learn on the job in real time. My question to you, your trajectory, you were AP longer than I was, but you're still in that same building. So in your transition to the principalship in the same building, what, if any, has been your greatest challenge from being the assistant to now being the #1 guy?
So I think is the gift and the curse. So the gift was that I'm clearly here. The students and the staff, they know me. So the relationship part was there. I think the other good thing was that I always had people in my ear because I too knew discipline. You know, that's what I do. And a lot of times as Black men, when we're in these roles, you know, we can get pigeonholed to always dealing with the difficult kids because we have success. But I always had people in my ear who always reminded me, you need to know curriculum. You got to learn, you have to know how to increase student achievement because that's where the rubber meets the road. And so I think the biggest challenge was really to get the staff to kind of buy in to my approach to this space. And I'm hands-on. You know, I'm energetic. I believe that, you know, I am the #1 determining factor to my achievement. I believe that. I believe that my presence should shift the atmosphere. When I show up, the students know it. And when I'm not there, my leadership should still be present. So I just think it was getting the buy-in from the staff. I have a lot of veteran staff members who've been here. I have staff members who are here since you were here. So, you know, they seen it all.
Yeah.
And so to really get them to trust me, it was the process. And so when I started the journey, it was, where do I start at? You know, it's almost like that, you know, when you're doing double dutch, they turning and you see the ladies in the community, they doing like this to figure out where they're going to jump in at. And so I had to jump in at with, you know, a look, listening, and learning tour. So really hearing from the staff, hearing from my upperclassmen, hearing from the parents, and really taking their feedback in. And before I charted the course to where we were going to go, I made sure that their input was included in it. And it helped me to get, I think, the buy-in a little bit quicker. So I think it was really just to get the staff, because I got great staff. I mean, I have some phenomenal staff members. You mentioned, you know, Dr. Detalonis, you mentioned Jim Ramos, like those have some phenomenal staff members. And so
there's Miss Sill right there.
Oh, you yes, she is. Miss Sill made curry chicken for the whole team the other day, boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still got yellow marks on my finger from picking up the curry. So I think that's the answer, Principal Kafele.
I love it. I want to shout out the East Orange legend Terry Miles while I see his name here. Appreciate you, Brother Miles. Appreciate you, long-time East Orange soldier in the building. In fact, the whole Miles family. Right. So let's go. Dr. Stallings, I'm back at you. We're on this. We're in the midst of the 17th day of Black History Month. I don't have to preach the sermon with you three brothers or our fam who are watching that Black history is not only February. We understand that, but we do put a spotlight. You know, like it's like any holiday. You know, those who are Christian are going to celebrate Christ throughout the course of their lives, but there is this thing called Christmas Day, right? So, and any other holiday, we could say the same thing. So, in our case, we get not only a day but a whole month, right? So, you know, some people might complain it's the shortest month. No, you don't know the history as to why it's in February. If that comes out of somebody's mouth, you don't understand why Dr. Woodson selected the second week of February as Negro History Week in 1926. So anyway, I feel myself preaching, Stallings. Let me get back to my question. in your careers, and this is for, I'm gonna give this same question to all three of you. In your careers, what is that thing as Black men that made you particularly proud of who you are as a Black male educator, that one might say this was one of my Black history moments? And I want to share mine. I wanted to be a part of this particular conversation. I want to share mine first. Mine was when I was a brand new, spanking new rookie, green, raw principal, and Dr. John Howard Jr. in East Orange, New Jersey, gave me permission. I made an appointment to see him, and I said, you know, we are Sojourner Truth Middle School of Science and Technology. Can I add one more component to bring the science and technology to life? And he said, what is it? I said, can we add the Institute of African-Centered Studies, so that we are the Sojourner Truth Middle School Institute of Science, Technology, and African-Centered Studies? And he said, yes, but I'm gonna hold you accountable. And I got a lot of days, a lot of weeks, a lot of months, a lot of years to be proud of as a principal. But my most proud moment in being a principal is those 2.5 years of that Afrocentric curriculum that we wrote, myself, along with Chase and Bowler and D. Smith being one of the teachers. That's my proudest moment as an educator, period. That's inclusive of my years of teaching, right? Because we were able to make history, and it wasn't just the theory of this curriculum and curriculum and instruction, but it was also the results that I had already said. Here's the hypothesis: make learning culturally relevant, and you will, which is inclusive of history, and you will see the results of Black children. So I got to see something that was in my mind since I was in undergrad school become life, and it proved everything I thought I knew. So that's my proudest moment as a Black male educator, particularly as a Black male leader. I want to go to you first, Stallings. Is there a Black history moment that you have that you know, when you reflect back on your career as a leader, that you conclude this is my proudest moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you've seen this picture of me with a group of young police officers.
Oh yeah,
you've seen that picture
many times.
So those young brothers went to they went to Healy, most of them, right? And if anybody knows anything about Patrick F. Healy, that was a school that was considered persistently dangerous.
That's right. Don't get me started.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get you started, right? Because that was a school that was considered persistently dangerous. Those students was counted out, man. People counted them students. They counted them students out. Not the educators in the building, right? Not the leadership, right? But those students weren't supposed to be here. They weren't supposed to be part of the continuum. They were supposed to be in the gangs. They were supposed to be dropouts. And every time I see that picture, it brings it brings a tear to my eye, because they beat all odds, and then they turn around and they want to be a police officer in your own community. A lot of times I don't think we give East Orange enough credit.
That's right.
I ran into Mel. Remember Mel Gibson? Not that Mel Gibson, but he's a firefighter now. Wow. So many of them former students, man, are doing great things. Ivana Wade running the whole East Coast now for curriculum associates.
He's going one-on-one with me on here in March.
Those kids were counted out, bro. They were counted out. That's a Black history moment for me.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
And they told me what a difference those teachers made at Healy, right? Because they'll tell you, man, we didn't know what was happening at Healy at that particular. We didn't know whether the school was going to close down. And these are some of the brightest kids.
That's right.
Wow.
That
appreciate
was a Black History Month. And there's story after story after story. Them kids graduated from Georgetown. Them kids graduated from HBCUs, Morehouse. They went all over. They came back home. They came back to EO to serve in their communities. And to see that picture, every time I see that picture, I have a hard time looking at it because I know at the vast majority of them, all those young brothers in that picture went to the complex. They either went to Healy, Costly, or Truth. But to see them come back, it's just humbling, man. That was a Black History moment for me.
I love it. I'm glad you took me back down memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
Although I stay in that lane, as you probably know, I can't. I'll never leave that lane. Never. Dr. Webb, same question.
Wow, great question, and thank you, Dr. Stallings. I would concur that East Orange doesn't get enough credit. One of my greatest Black History moments, I would say, was being able to become colleagues with my teachers, people that taught me. And that middle school you talked about, I was the first class to go all the way through it when it was Hart Middle School, when we played on the roof and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Roosevelt Weaver kicked me out in the 8th grade. Fast forward 20 years later, we became colleagues and best of friends, and he helped coach some of the people I know. But another one of my greatest, there's so many in education, and we all get those aha moments when students come back. But just this week, I sat in on the defense of a young man that I mentored. He defended his dissertation from St. Peter's on Tuesday. And, in his acknowledgments, Brother Williams, you had to put those people in your acknowledgments, right? But and so he listed me as one of his biggest encouragers, and as well, Dr. Jermaine Monk, who I brought in yesterday to do some inclusion workshops at my school, is now the Associate Dean of Johns Hopkins University, and sitting in on his dissertation and helping to mentor him when he did his PhD work at Rutgers University. So, and as well, and my background is alternative ed. A lot of it's alternative, and you talked about being pigeonholed. But I was able to take alternative students that everyone else had thrown away, and done amazing things with students, helping them to graduate. We had 100% graduation rates at Fresh Start Academy. But also, I partnered with Dr. Stallings and the other high schools, and we went to Lehigh University, and I took alternative school students to expose them, exposure. And they had a magnificent time seeing what this campus looks like. And I know we go to the HBCUs, but I showed them another, and the questions were just so engaging at this engineering institute. I also took them to Bristol Myers Squibb so that they can see, where the real money is and how do I get into the pharma. And so just so many, but I'm humbled to be, in this position as a servant leader.
Love it. Principal Williams, what's that proud Black History moment in your leadership?
So for me, I think I'm still creating those moments. I've always worked with youth and families over the years. I'm excited about just what's happening here. I know at my school, as you said, Black History Month is not this month. I mean, we're highlighting it this month, putting the spotlight on it, but it's every day. But I do, as my two brothers were talking, I do want to highlight the gift in the city of East Orange. So I went to elementary school. It's elementary school, middle school, and high school in East Orange. And so when I think back to over the years, Dr. Cowan was my principal. First it was Miss Brenda Veal, then it was Dr. Cowan, then Miss Nichols. I mean, I'm just thinking about. I had so many Black male educators when I was at Clifford Scott. I mean, they weren't physical education teachers, science teachers, history teachers, math teachers. And so to come from that stock, I too now get to pay it forward. So my moment probably would be more so around mentoring. I've always been a mentor. I can't even count the number of men. I know it's young men. I'm into the thousands of young men that we've mentored. You guys know I'm a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and our mentoring program has been one of the best. The local one has been one of the best in the country over the years, and I'm proud that we're going to launch that mentoring program next month here at North Tech, just to keep that legacy going, but just to be able to expose young men. We've gone from the White House to HBCUs to overnight camping trips. And so one of the things that I posted last week when we took the students to UPenn was that I'm not working to at least close the achievement gap. I'm working to close the exposure gap. Yeah. And as Dr. Webb stated, when you expose our kids to in order to get youth to think bigger, sometimes we have to show them what bigger really is, because really it's really bigger is like a frame of reference. I remember asking a young man one time, give me your dream vacation. And the young man said, I want to go to Six Flags and stay for 2 days. That was what his frame of reference was at that time.
Right.
But then I asked another young man, what would your dream vacation be? And he said, he wanted to go to Dubai. And so same young men, same neighborhood, but what one was exposed to versus the other changed what he thought could be a reality or what he really wanted. And so I'm just really big on just exposing and giving our young men exposure, not just young men, youth in general, exposure to what's really out there. So they know that they have endless possibilities to what they ultimately can become.
Love it. Man, I put together these preliminary questions. We it's like 12:19 Eastern time, and I'm still in intro mode. Hey, y'all, listen, y'all hang with us for a little while today. I'm still in the introduction, man. I guess I put too much in the intro, but the intro is good. I see y'all's comments. The intro is good. So one more. Let's keep this one short. Just again, in the spirit of the month we're in, Black History Month, is there someone in history? It doesn't have to be someone famous, or it could be, or anybody in between. Is there someone in history who particularly inspired the work you do right now? And I'm talking really specifically the work you do. Is there someone that inspired that? I'll go in the same sequence. Stallings, I'll start with you.
Man, there's so many.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass. If you haven't seen that new documentary out,
I need to. Everybody keeps telling me.
Becoming Frederick Douglass. There is scholars, Dr. John Henry Clark, who taught us about the colonization of the mind.
Yeah.
And how we have to free that before we can free the physical first. But then again, I think back to my father, who taught those valuable lessons. My grandfathers are on both sides, maternal and paternal. My mother, who prayed for every graduation class that I ever before she passed, and met every high achieving student, top performing students, because when we get that documentation and that data, I would always call my mother and share that news with them right in my office, and she would, pray with the students and tell them how proud she was of the students. It's just so many, man. You guys who sit on this video right now, I watch every last one of you do your work, and it's inspiring. Been watching for a long time. So there's a lot, Malcolm X, Dr. King, it's Fannie Lou Hamer. It just goes on and on. And if you know their stories, they put that work in just so we could be here to share our stories. So there's a lot.
There's a lot. Dr. Webb, same question.
I echo you, Dr. Stallings. There's so many. I would start with a Palestinian Jew about 2,000 years ago that has inspired me to follow his paradigm for over 50 years. And so that inspires my faith tradition. But I would also say, my mom and my dad. Mom is 90 years old, will be 90 in March, and dad is 94. Mom worked at Columbian School as a teacher's aide, and people thought she was the principal. But she never told us how to do it, but she said that we could do it. And because she said we could do it, we did it. And as a result, she has 3 children with terminal degrees, one medical doctor and 2 with doctorate degrees. And so just what, and grew up on 75 North 16th Street, 07017. And out of that, just seeing all the inspiring Black role models in our community. Brother Miles is on, his dad, and the coaches that I had in East Orange, and the principals. And I saw Black principals. A lot of towns can't say that.
That's right. Every
one of my principals was a Black male. And of course, Irene Nichols was vice principal, but I've seen great role models. And so it was actually natural to just understand that the greatness that is in us. Probably took it for granted, right? Until I reflect on it. That this was a great accomplishment in the sense. I'm going back to the early 70s.
And something where like Wendy said, let's not forget that Dr. King sustained that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He took a chance on me. I guess he took a chance on you.
Yes,
he took a chance on Stallings. Williams was working in the other districts, but all of us were young, and this man said, I'm going to take
it. King, right? You can't forget that.
Can I add a point about this importance of Black male leadership?
Yeah.
Just quick. I'm reading a book called Jim Crow Pink Slip.
Oh yeah.
Untold story of Black principals, and
that's Chica Depore's sister, by the way.
Yes, it's Leslie Fenwick.
Yeah.
The main point of the book is during desegregation, over 100,000 principals and teachers, educators, Black educators, were thrown out.
Right.
And what was hired was less credentialed individuals. So if you really want to talk about a gap, because we've never recovered from that.
That's right.
And it happened again in the latest movement, and I, for lack of a better word, I call it the charter school movement. No offense, I get it, right? But we lost a lot of teachers. A lot of teachers left. We got a new wave of teachers, right? New wave of administrators. But we've never closed that gap, the importance of the Black male, Black female educators. Yeah. As we talk about them today, that's the gap that we haven't really put our focus on.
Right.
Tell you what, that's your and them talking points, and we will get that in at least.
Right. Can I just say about Dr. King?
We're gonna get on it. Go ahead about Dr. King.
Dr. King was the glue that kept it together, and was able. He knew people, and he was able to sow into their lives and put them strategically in the right place. Another one, I'd be remiss if I don't call his name, Josiah Haig, inspired me. He knew every custodian, cafeteria worker, teacher, principal, and he made everyone feel a part of the team. This was, before we were talking collaboration, he made everyone feel a part of the team. And so you could move a mountain with that type of leadership. because everybody was a part of that team. And so I would be remiss. And he came to East Orange twice, but great leadership style.
Great leadership. Let me go to Principal Williams. Same question. Who inspired your leadership in the context of Black History Month?
Definitely. For me, it would be my fraternity brother, John Lewis. Just to have an opportunity to, before he passed, I actually had an opportunity to serve on a panel with him, which is pretty much one of my proudest, moments during the Congressional Black Caucus. So just to be able to sit and learn from him, to see his passion, his dedication, his commitment to civil rights and understanding the power of our vote. So for me, that's probably where it would be. If I had to bring it home a little closer, it would definitely probably be, he doesn't notice, but my father, my father is, he's the unsung hero. He was one of the security men for Imamu Baraka, former Leroy Jones, and that's how I got my name, Jenabu Chache Williams. And he was very influential in getting Kenneth Gibson elected to be mayor in the city of Newark. And so to have such deep roots in the city of Newark, and to now full circle be back here leading a school within the city of Newark, knowing that is a large part of that comes from the work that my father did within the community and his commitment to pour into me. And I know I'm finishing some of the things that he didn't necessarily get to do. And so to be able to live that out, and him to have a front row seat to do that with me and each and every day, that's probably where a lot of my inspiration comes from.
Wow, that's strong. I love that. I love that. Let's go to some of these talking points, y'all. To the fam out there, those that don't know, I always ask my guests, send me some talking points of something you're really passionate about as it relates to your work, as it relates to the topic. I didn't really have a real topic. I just said the OG, the vet, and the Rook talk leadership, and they gave me what they gave me. I think we're gonna have to wind up doing a part 2. So we'll get to some of this, and let me go out of order now, and I want to go right to. In fact, I need to set up my screen here, and go right to Principal Williams. So give me a second here. Here we go. You had talked about school climate and culture as being an area of passion, an area of significance, and I feel the same way. Talk to us about what are you saying to us?
I've been in schools where the climate and culture was just poor. It was just not good. Don't want to talk disparagingly about any of those stops, but to know how important that is for me, I made that a crucial point of my leadership, that the climate and culture of this school would be strong, that the students will know me. They will know what my expectations are of them. The staff will know me. They will feel comfortable to the point where I'm coming in to that classroom, and they're not jumping. They're not looking over their shoulder. They see me as support. It's not a I got you type of thing, but I truly understand that it's the principal's responsibility to make sure that the climate and culture of that school is strong. So I'm the, I try to say I'm one of the first ones here. I get here at 7 o'clock, 7:15, but I got some teachers who got a breakfast club. They get here 6:45. So about 2 or 3 of them beat me to work. But outside of that, I get to set that atmosphere. I get to making sure that we play music when we come into this building each and every day, and how music can shift that atmosphere. I've watched students come in, they come through the foyer and they looking dejected or looking down, staff too, and they hear some, they'll hear some Motown playing. They'll hear some, upbeat R&B. They might even hear some Kirk Franklin playing, and I can see their whole demeanor just shift as they walk into the building. So it's moments like that for me that ensuring that this climate and culture of this school is safe, is nurturing, and for me, it's tying it all back to it's an indicator for student achievement. That when that climate and culture is strong, I told the staff sometimes I'm a glorified gardener. I set the tone, I till the soil. So when the kids go into those classrooms, they are the number one determining factor, in that classroom as teachers. But that ground is so fertile and soil that when they're planted in that soil from the climate and culture, that's how they blossom. That's how we're able to see the results that we're seeing here, the exponential growth, because of the strong climate and culture. I believe is very key.
I love it. Now let me go back real quick to something I said earlier. I see. I don't, when I go on social media pages, I'm not sitting there liking everything I see. I look at it. So I'm on your page, and I see 100% of what you post, right? And I see 100% of what Stallings posts. I see 100% of what Webb posts, and so countless other people. I'm just not like. I'm looking. And I'm deliberately looking for certain people. I'm not like scrolling a timeline. I'm looking for people because they do what I do. So principalship is in my blood. So I want to see what other principals are doing. Speaking is in my blood. So I want to see what other speakers are doing. So I know what they're doing, even though they don't know I'm on their page. I'm not someone that's lurking. I'm a student of the game. You know what I'm saying? So therefore I see it. So I'm saying that to say this. I see those vids where those kids, those young people, your scholars, are shaking your hand, or at least the greeting, before they walk into the building. And you know that I'm a stickler for that kind of thing anyway. So my question to you, for the benefit of the audience, in particularly the younger family members out here, or the veterans out here who forgot about that, tell me, why do you do that? Because there's other things you could be doing at that time. Why does that matter to you?
I think it matters because, again, kids are dealing with so much baggage. You might have, unfortunately, parents might have went off on a kid that morning. A kid, a kid could experience. I don't know what you experienced, but to be able to come in and, to tell a young lady, "Good morning, beautiful. Hey, oh my gosh, look at your hair." Those little things, it matters. I know a young man's name. "Good morning, King. How you doing, sir?" Bring it in. And for them to feel that energy, and I think kids know it, that is authentic. I definitely got to shout out my security team. I got some OGs here. They're greeting the students. It's not a police a precinct they're coming into. We have processes that are in place, but there's some dignity to the process. We have security screens. You got to put your bag through a conveyor, right? But it's the way we do it, and the fact that I have teachers like Jen Ramos, like Marcia Phillips, who are there. Good morning.
Marcia Phillips.
Today's an A day. Today's a B day. Good morning, guys. And to hear that, and for it to happen authentically, for me, it sets the tone, for the day, and it kind of allows the student, again, I always say, to kind of take that mask off. And whatever you were dealing with, whatever those outside distractions or factors were, from 7:30 to 2:49, that's not your concern. We set that tone for that.
I love it. I brought Miss Phillips from East Orange when she was a baby. Yeah. And, she's a superstar. She's a superstar. Tell her I said hello. Webb, you said, and I gotta do like my partner, create and educate Sheikah and Tammy, and start hiring somebody to handle all this stuff on the side, so I can stay focused on the conversation. So yeah. Sheikah Houston, if you're still out there, it's coming. It's coming. Webb, while I identify, here it is. You said, that's not the one I want. Hang on, number 2. Not that one. Here we go. You said, stay low and keep your feet moving. Stay low. What are you saying to us?
Principal Kafele. High school, I played nose guard. Now, My bragging rights, I'm 5'5", but I you know, with heels on.
5'5"?
All right, 5'2". And so Coach Curry, because I played nose guard and I played offensive guard. Now I'm pretty good. He said, Webb, stay low and keep your feet moving.
Mm.
And it has been a mantra of my life. Staying low, it allows me to first stay humble, make sure that you know, humility is, and if I'm going around saying how humble I am, that's not humility, but just being humble, but staying low, that low center of gravity, you can adjust. You know, there's a level of agility. I can pivot if I need to. If I need to pull because I'm low and I get up under the offensive or the defensive personnel I'm going against because of that low center of gravity. So in life, I've learned how to adjust when I need to, stay humble always, and then keep your feet moving.
Wow.
There's going to be trials in life. Keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. Keep your feet moving.
That's right.
You're going to get pushed. Keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
Webb, stay low.
And stay low in the process.
Keep your feet moving.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I'm gonna move it relatively faster, just so that I can get as much of this content in as possible for our folks out here. You know, Stallings, you said representation matters, the importance of hiring and supporting Black male educators. Let me just say this for the audience real quick, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you. When I speak at places locally, you know, Jersey, New York City, and people that know me or people are familiar with me, they're under the assumption that I speak to Black audiences all the time, you know. So, and they'll ask me certain questions, and I gotta remind them of the reality of the education field. I spend my life speaking to predominantly white women. That's what I do for a living. I go into places and I speak to white women because white women are 84% of the teaching population across the country, right? White teachers, with white women being the overwhelming majority of that. So Black men, depending on whose research you're looking at, it can range from anywhere from 1.2% to 1.9% of the total teaching staff in America. So therefore, I don't see a lot of Black men. I'm not in the midst of Black men, right? I'm in the midst of white women, right? So, but yet I'm there in many cases because of the Black children that they educate, right? So with that being said, Stallings, you said representation matters, and I want to know why, and then the importance of hiring and supporting Black male educators. Speak to us on that.
Yeah, the last data that I seen, only 1.3% of the 3 million educators are black males.
Yeah.
I did a survey in my school with my seniors. You know, we're a 6 through 12 school, and it's about 70, 80 seniors. So these students have been here for some time, so they have a good representation of their thoughts on this issue. 90% of them said to me in this survey, asked a few questions, about 5 or 6 questions with a little narrative, that Black male educators have helped them make important decisions, whether it be personal decisions or academic decisions. Black male educators were there when they needed someone to talk to and they couldn't find someone else that they trusted. Black males have helped them make important decisions about college, about just individual decisions. The school that I work at now, 23% of my staff, 23% are Black male or non-white Hispanic males. That matters to those students.
Yeah, that's phenomenal numbers, by the way.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is not about who's better, male or female, right? But oftentimes they don't see a Black mathematician teaching calculus at a high level, or a black male special ed teacher, or a black male technology teacher, a black male English teacher. I include the security guard as well as the custodial staff in that. That's how important the representation is. So there has been for so long that I talked earlier about how those numbers got to be so low. All right. Yeah. They got to be so low because that was intentional.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is, in my small little research, right, that it is so powerful, so impactful. We were mentioning Webb, you're talking about Dr. King, Dr. Haig, right? And the list goes on and on and on, right? Dr. West, right? Just think about the power, the teaching and the learning and the mentorship that we gained from all of those great men.
That's right.
Right? Man, Dr. King was like a god, man. When you picked up that phone, man, you straighten up your tie, and he make sure you have your jacket on, and he couldn't even see you. But what I'm saying is that representation matters because our children are looking for the mentorship. They're looking for the teachers who are excellent at their craft. Right? And they're not in many schools as you move out of East Orange and move out of North. So imagine what the other educational communities aren't fortunate enough to be exposed to in terms of what black males bring to the table. So when we get them, we got to retain them. We got to support them. They're more than just disciplinarians, right? They're real educators, real mentors. So that's why it matters. Yeah. If you ask your students, they'll tell you. They will tell you what it means. So that's why representation in regards to black males is so important. And when you get them, you got to hold on to them, right? You got to coach them, you got to hold on to them, and then you got to get them into leadership roles as well.
That's right.
That's right. Well, you said, I want to couple one of your other ones with that, where you said the importance of Black history, the importance and significance of Black history in curriculum. I'm gonna stay quiet on that one because I'll start preaching again. So just what are you saying about that significance?
We got to stop playing. We got to stop playing games with this Black history and curriculum, man. New Jersey Amistad is almost how old? Almost 20 years.
Right.
And there should be Black history, Black literature from pre-K, from K through 12 in our courses, in our curriculum.
That's right.
That's a major equity gap. We want students to take a test and pass a test. They don't even know who they are.
Right.
Because we don't have that in the curriculum. Right. It should be mandatory that our schools across New Jersey have Black history courses.
Right. Not as a supplement, because we're so busy chasing or teaching to the test, which doesn't have anything to do with it's not culturally sensitive. So, but we spend a large part of our time getting students prepared, which we should, but we have to include who we are.
That's right.
Who we are. And so we can no longer say it's okay for our students to be graduating without a comprehensive Black history curriculum that every student, every child must take. The state says by law, you got to do 40 hours of community service or you don't graduate.
They do.
Right? Black history, you could call it Black history, African American history. I include women's history and all of that because that's part of the gap. That's part of the gap that has to be closed. And we're not, and we got law on our side and we're still not doing it the right way, in my humble opinion.
Oh, I agree. We got law on our side, but it's still not there. But I do know things are happening, but we'll keep that off here for now. But I know things are happening. I appreciate that. Let me go to Principal Williams, and you had indicated, and this ties right into that previous discussion with Stallings, support and development for new teachers. And let me just say this real quick, Principal Williams. I'm going back to Stallings. So we bring in that black male, and in your case, I mean, it's generic. You handling how you want to handle it, but you think about that black male that we want so bad, and then we bring him in, but don't provide him with what you just said, the support and development that he needs. He will probably bounce within a year or two because it's so overwhelming being in that space, as opposed to where I'm gonna yield now to you and provide that support and development for the new teacher. So go ahead and holler at us about that.
Yeah. Listen, man, you guys helping me finish this dissertation, because that's exactly what my study is going to be on, the impact or the importance of African-American male on student achievement. So I'm looking forward to being able to tell school districts how to recruit more men of color, how to train the training that men of color need, and to how to retain those men of colors, and should have the approval through the city of East Orange to do that study. It's going to be a qualitative phenomenological study that's going to be done right through the city of East Orange. So I'm just looking forward to it. So this lets me know I'm in the right place, and is a relevant study that's going to add to impact to the educational space. So I'm just looking forward to it. But I'm really passionate about supporting all teachers, but specifically new teachers. As a CTE, career technical education school and principal, I get a lot of teachers that come right from industry. I might have a master mechanic, a skilled, welder, individuals, who business teachers who come in right from corporate, and they know their content. However, they're not teaching is an art. And I'm glad that there's an art to this thing, and so to be able to teach and support them is what's necessary in order to making sure your school is going to be successful. So I'm very intentional about coming into the classroom myself, along with my assistant principal. Got to shout out Miss Shayla Jana, my new assistant principal here. But in those classrooms, the supervisors, and we're giving feedback in real time. Not weeks later, in real time, giving them resources, and showing them how to use the resources before we're coming in to evaluate them. I'm very intentional about making sure those master teachers in the building. Shout out to Miss Phillips, Dr. Lucas, African-American male mathematician, making sure my new math teachers, you're going to go sit and you're going to watch Dr. Lucas. And, we want students to achieve at the highest level as a project or something they're working on. What do? We give them an exemplar. We want them to know what this finished product should look like. So I think it's incumbent on us to create spaces so those new teachers can see what this thing looks like, and not just in their respective discipline. I'm not going to just have a CTE teacher be, shadow or mirror a CTE colleague. No, I want you to see a master, historian, a mathematician, a scientist, and how they're unpacking this lesson, how they are making sure technology is infused throughout the lesson, that the students are being engaged, that there are different levels of formative assessments, and those assessments are being used to drive the instruction, regardless of what that lesson plan, that framework. But because of the level of questioning and open-ended questions, and making sure students understand the why behind you're doing certain things, for me, those are the important things that I want my teachers to see. I take pride in being able to show them. I worked in school district, Principal Kafele, where teachers would be in the teachers' lounge and they would laugh and say, all you got to do if you want this principal to get off your back is to say to him or her, can you show me how to be more engaging? Because that principal didn't have the skill set to do that. And my staff, they know. I double dog dare you to tell me, ask me to how to be more engaging. Right. I'll gladly come into that classroom and incorporate tech tools, technology, you know, all the things that I'm asking you to do. I'm living it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be a fraud and ask you to do something that I can't do. And so, that all came through COVID, sitting home in all those extra hours. I said, let me learn how to use a Padlet message board or Pear Deck, a Kahoot, because I want to make sure that if I'm telling you this is what I expect for you to do, that I can mirror it. I can show you in real time. Wow, that's powerful stuff. Anybody wanted to chime in or keep it going?
Yeah, well, I think too. I'm always in classrooms, team teaching, and got that from mentorship. Laura Trimmings would come in my classroom, whatever the lesson was, and then she would engage students, and we begin to team teach, and she would bring in. And I call it engaging pedagogy, where not only we're going to teach you, your the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, but we're also going to give you a life lesson in that and make it applicable to what's going on in your life. And so, I've had those mentors, and I go into class and we'll just begin to team teach with that teacher to engage students, to show them how to engage our students.
Wow, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me keep it moving. I want to stay with you, Dr. Webb. You that's not the one I want though. I don't want that one right now. I want this one. You said put a 10 on every student's head. I have no idea what you're saying.
So our students come to us and I do the exercise. I shake up in the staff meeting, I shake up a can of Pepsi, and then I ask every teacher to pass it around, shake it up, pass it around, shake it up, and pass it around. And then the last person that gets it, I say, now you open that. And nobody wants to open it. And that's how our students come to school, right? Wow. We don't know if there's gang involved. We don't know if they have breakfast. We don't know. They have it's hard just getting to school sometimes. And so they're getting shaken up all the way to the door. And then first thing they see is security. Take out your book bag. Let me open your.
Yeah.
No, you can't have breakfast. Wait a minute. No, you put that person, that student is a 10. Every one of them. Our parents send us the best. That's the best that they have. Yeah, I know they might come from different. I got all that, but there's a 10 on your head. Yeah, your uniform ain't clean. But you're a 10. You didn't need. You're a 10. Yeah, you cursing, but you're a 10. And then once I look at you like my own child, right? Like my children will go to this school, then I have to treat you differently. I have to engage you with sensitivity. I have to engage you and be understanding. Of course, I want to give you this. There are rules. There's discipline, but every student deserve that 10 on them. They're the best that their parents are sending, and these are our best. So you have a 10 on your head, and I'm gonna do you start out in my school with an A. Whether or not you keep it, that's up to you. But we have to bring out the greatness. So it's key, greeting students at the door.
That's right.
Because sometimes they don't get that leaving the house.
That's right.
They don't know what it means to say good morning because nobody says good morning.
That's right.
That you're amazingly, you're an amazing student. You're a great scholar. We have to build them up. Everyone gets a 10 on their head. Right?
I love that. I wouldn't be surprised if every leader on this call runs out and buys a 6-pack of soda at their staff meeting on Monday.
Yep.
That wouldn't surprise me at all because of the volume of comments. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's what an analogy. That's powerful stuff. I want to go back to you, Principal Williams, and then I'm gonna go to Stallings. You said something that really intrigued me here. Interactive and engaging staff meetings, because we know that may not always be the case. So talk to me about the rationale behind that and what that looks like.
Yeah. I remember somebody asked me, so why did you leave the classroom? Like, you didn't want to teach anymore? And I remember telling them that I didn't leave the classroom because I didn't want to teach anymore. I left the classroom because I wanted to, in fact, teach more. And I think for me as a professional, when I was a teacher and a principal came to a staff meeting with an agenda and just read down a piece of black and white paper of things that I could have read in an email.
Right.
For me, I found that insulting.
Yeah.
Like, you insulting my intelligence. I'm highly intelligent. Me and my colleagues are highly intelligent. So I see my staff meetings as a classroom, because the things that I want to see in the classroom, I now get to model it every first Wednesday of the month. Everything from how they come in, where they sitting at, how I'm greeting them, how do I get their attention, making sure everyone is engaged in the staff meeting. So there's going to always be some type of nugget that I'm giving you. So now when I'm coming into that classroom, I can tap back into it. They come into the staff room meeting, the atmosphere is already going to be set. Music is going to be playing. It's ready when you walking in, and they had a long day. It's 3:00. Like, how do I get them? I got to chew for another hour. I have staff members who come to me and say, "Oh man, I didn't even realize that we was here for an hour," because I'm going to engage you. I'm going to make sure that we're not just checking a box, so to say. And so I often make sure I start off with a moment of gratitude. I think it's important. And so, they do teachers give a lot. They're doing a lot. And I think, sometimes, we just jump into the work. We forget the human aspect over it. And so we have this thing that I heard a presenter share about a year ago. For me, is connections over the content, C over C, connections over content. I want them, when I use G squared, grace over grudges. So I have to share. I have to model that for them, even when something may have happened I didn't like. How do I deliver grace over grudges and use that meeting as a teachable moment? I think this is a missed opportunity every month as administrators, when we don't show up prepared, when we don't show up and engage the staff members, when we don't model what we want them to do in the classroom. I think they just look at us like, oh, here we go again, check it. We're just checking the box. And that's sometimes the results you get. So my staff know every month they come in like, all right, well, we got this month. Like, I know it's going to be something. And we've been able to do that up to and even including teacher leaders. Last month we had an issue in the school. Some students were on websites that wasn't safe for a school. But we got this thing called Go Guardian that the district paid for, but we're not even using it. So we assessed to see, who was using it. We made sure all the teachers, had an active account. And in the staff meeting, I gave up my space, which was my time, and I allowed one of my teachers, who was an in-house resident expert, little did I know, and then he engaged the staff members. The data and feedback that I got back from that staff meeting told me, teachers said, "Oh my God, I never knew he was that funny. I didn't even know he could do that. Wow, I learned so much from him." And so we have to be, again, I call it keeping our pulse on our building and knowing what's happening, knowing when to pivot, and to do something different. Can't be scripted all the time. And when those things happen, to maximize it. And so that teacher was acknowledged for something he would, on a normal circumstance, would have never been acknowledged for, and we thanked him openly and publicly for lending his time, talents, and abilities to do something that he was a mathematician. You know, shout out to Mr. Agnew, but he wasn't a facilitator, so he thought. He sure wasn't a representative Go Guardian, but he was able to take that space, took what he learned and what he was passionate about, and now my whole team, they benefited from it, and my students are better as a result of it.
Whew, I love that. I love that. Anybody want to jump in?
Well, Brother Williams gave a perfect example of what instructional leadership looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So.
Yeah. Modeling it at the staff meeting, as opposed to just what it is we do in terms of coaching and classroom visits. That's strong stuff. Since you spoke, Stallings, let me stay with you. And you said leadership is the cornerstone of all of schools, right? And you know, I tend to make this distinction between the leader and the leadership, and I don't make them synonymous. So when I read this, when you sent it to me, it jumped out for me because I preached that sermon for long periods, it's long stretches of time between making that distinction between the leader, that the person, and the leadership, when the person could be at a conference halfway across the country, but the leadership is still very much present and evident. So with that said, talk to us. What are you telling us when you say it's the cornerstone?
A leader or the leadership could either breathe life into a school building or be its death knell. That's what I mean by it. It is so important that we understand what that role is, what that responsibility is as a leader. You have to be really locked into understanding the significance of that role. People want answers from you. They don't want answers from they don't want answers from the parents. They don't want answers from the students. They want answers from you.
Yeah.
So it behooves you to be on top of your game. They don't want answers from the teachers. Yes, they want answers from the teachers in the classroom, right? But you have that global perspective, that global vision, and you have to understand that it is so powerful. And if you're not locked into that, if you don't really understand what that really means, you won't have an environment that's safe for learning, that's that is culturally relevant, culturally sound. Climate is where it should be, right? But with that comes a lot of work, right? Williams, you talked about taking that principal's job over the VP job. See, you knew something.
That's right.
Because they're not the same. Right? They're not the same. You're usually the first person there.
That's right.
Last person to leave. But it has to be because you want to be there. You want to be the first and the last to leave because you have this global vision.
That's right.
Everything matters in the school building.
That's right.
Everything. Broken window, trash on the floor.
That's right.
Cold classroom. Right? Everything matters. Everything matters. And I don't know if folks really understands that. Now, we're not going to always get things moving as quickly as we want to because that's just the way systems work. Right? But you got to make sure that your staff, your parents, the community understands what your vision is, how it's aligned to the district's vision, to the city's vision, right? To the state's vision. All of that is important as a leader. All right. You have to know data like you know the back of your hand.
Right.
But as a leader, you got to also know how to take the eye test. So when that student is coming in the door, and you know that student had a bad night. Student told me that she had a little small fire in the building. Thank God nothing burned down, but it threw the whole family off.
That's right.
How do you respond to that as a leader? What do you say to her teachers? So, right? So you got to be locked into all of that. That's why I call it the cornerstone. So you're not departmentalizing. All right. You got to know teachers who are struggling. You got to celebrate your teachers, right? You got to have those uncomfortable conversations with a whole assortment of people. Yep. All right. And that's what keeps a building running in the right direction or moving in the right direction. All right. I know that there's a lot of data that says that that teachers have the most impact of students in the classroom, and that's probably true. But in the school, it's that leadership.
Absolutely.
And we can't get. You don't want to get away from that, right? You know how many decisions we make in a day?
Hundreds.
How many you make, Webb?
Hundreds in the morning.
Now, we make decisions all day long, right? We got to come to terms though with the bad ones too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And you don't always have time to check and see if everybody's on board with that decision. You just got to make that decision and stand on it.
You got to stand on it.
And I think it's important to lead with integrity.
Right.
That people can trust you. And building relationships is important. You know, say what you mean, but don't say it mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say it mean. Student first, student centered, but I do back and support my teachers need to know that they can trust you.
That's right.
And of course, you know, every stakeholder needs to know that this person can be trusted and works with integrity and is fair, firm, friendly. Not their friends, but those type of things, and that all plays. So leadership is everything. It is the cornerstone.
It is.
Cornerstone. And let me jump in here real quick. How you brothers on time?
I'm good, man.
You good? All right. Listen, we still have a large audience out here, so they rocking. So let me say, because you don't see the numbers. I see all 4 platforms combined. So we still have a lot of people on here. So here's what I want to do. Each of you also you do some degree of speaking or consulting. So I want the folks before people leave, because they to start their days. Stallings, how do the folks get in touch with you if they want to just reach out to you and ask you a question, or if they want to invite you to come out and speak to their group, whatever it is? How do they get in touch with you?
You can always inbox me on Facebook. Leave me a message. My pages are all public. That includes Instagram. I don't have any private pages or anything like that. You can email me at v.stallings@estarns.k12.nj.us. You can email my personal email, which is v232us@yahoo.com. If you have any questions about leadership, about whatever it is related to education, we can chop it up. Absolutely.
There you go. Webb, how about yourself?
You can reach me on my church's page, NLCC, DOC, or email me. All of my social media platforms are public as well. MinWeb 1964, a great year, at gmail.com.
Give me that one more time. That last one with the 1964.
MINWEBB 1964 at gmail.com.
Very good. Principal Williams.
Oh, definitely for me. Principal.Williams on Instagram, Facebook, Jenabu Williams, LinkedIn, Jenabu Williams. A DM message on any of those platforms will come directly to me. I think it's probably the best way to connect with me. All
right. To the fam out there, we got we're actually just about finished. That's why I wanted to do that. So y'all hang in there with us while we just got a little bit more to go. So hang in there with us. Let me go back to my other screen and where we at. I wanted to go with you, Dr. Webb, on this one. You said show up for life and bring your A game. What are you telling these leaders out here? What does that mean?
So I encourage the staff. We got to show up every day. Bring your A game. I know that, you know, the car was cold. You might have wasted coffee on your new shirt, your blouse, but bring your A game. Bring it. We have to leave everything else aside. Bring your A game because our students deserve it. Bring your very best. Come prepared. Come prepared every day. That teaching and learning is going on. And I tell the students, bring your A game. When you arrive in this building, doesn't matter what's going on out here. Right now, this is a safe place. We're considering ourselves the model of excellence in urban education. And so I'm instilling that. We're on our way to blue ribbon status. And I'm telling them that. And they know our overarching expectation. Bring your A game. And so I bring the excitement. I bring and when I don't have a fire, I turn on one of Kafele's videos and I get fired up. Don't worry about no achievement gap. It's attitude gap. Get out of here.
There you go. I appreciate you.
Listen, man, you don't know how many days you've inspired. Look, I wake up to inspiration, you know, and so I have what's called a morning convocation every day. And so what the students get is information and inspiration. Give them direction for the day. And so I get them fired up, get them, you know, some direction. You know, it may fall off around 12 o'clock, but they're gonna get inspired for the day. Right?
Yeah.
And so you know, you got to bring it. I bring my A game. I expect everybody else bring your A game every day.
Bring your A game every day. I love it. I love it. Let me go to Principal Williams. You said modeling instructional best practices and tech tools for staff. Talk to us.
Again, this all came about during COVID. You know, we were asking teachers to do things that, you know, they never had to do before. And so, you know, everything that happened during COVID wasn't bad. And I think the whole tech tool industry was broadened. I'm not going to say birth, but it was definitely broadened during COVID. And so there's some cool ways to formative assess, you know, cool ways to take a regular traditional PowerPoint and how do I make it, you know, interactive? How do I know if I'm asking a question, I'm teaching a concept that my students got it versus saying, any questions? Okay, then moving forward. So, you know, how do you know that? And creating ways for students who may be, you know, introverted, not, you know, the loud student, but to making sure that their voice still matters in the classroom. You can do that through a variety of tech tools, you know, message boards, you know, platforms like we use Schoology in my district. Schoology has a platform where you can do a message board where students can type as you're talking just to make sure they're giving you feedback so you know that they're following along with you. I use Padlet message board, Pear Deck, you know, taking your PowerPoint and bringing it to life, making it interactive. I think these are things that teachers, you know, have to, you know, incorporate to having your toolkit or platforms like them, you know, to make sure that students are engaged. I mean, you know, we live in a real world. Students always got that cell phone in their hand. Like, how do you take that and instead of chastising them for having it, how do we use it as a learning tool? So I think that, you know, for us as educators, if you're not savvy in it, somebody on your leadership team needs to be, you know, savvy in it, because this is the world that the students are in. And so how do we meet them where they are and take those devices and making sure we're using it for the academic educational benefit.
Yeah. I love it. Let me we winding down, y'all. Let me go back to Stallings. You'll notice those numbers, I'm way out of sequence because I've been kind of finding a common threads.
Yeah.
Stallings, you said technology and equity. Are black and brown students, I should have deleted that.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, prepared, etc. for the technology evolution and revolution. Let me work on that. What are you saying to us?
Well, to Brother Williams's point, again, we are in the midst of a tech evolution, a tech revolution. And if we want to talk real equity or closing the gap, what does that look like for our students?
Right.
Right? Some of us as educators, we're afraid of the technology. We can't be afraid. We have to be right in the middle of it.
Right.
This new form of technology is real. Artificial intelligence is here on the ground. Boom. Right?
Either it's left the station, either
It left-
embrace it or
It left the station, but what do our curriculums look like to ensure that our students know how to code? Not just a group of students, but all students going to have to understand algorithms, right? Here we are in the midst of this evolution and revolution, just like Black history. We're really not ready for it. So we gotta shift. Our schools have to shift, and we gotta shift fast. Our districts have to shift. We have to shift fast, because you best believe other districts are engaging in this revolution that we are in the midst of.
That's right.
right.
And you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of the kids. Oh, well, kids are going to cheat if they use AI, and man, that stuff is out of the barn.
That's right.
Right.
And so a lot of times our students are ahead of our teachers.
Right. But it's going to impact a whole generation and generations to come in terms of economically, just how we are in the world.
Yep.
So we need to have dynamic discussions and dynamic shifts around this wave, this new wave and evolution of and revolution of technology.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me do this last one. I know you gave me 5, Webb. I went 4, 4, and 4. So let me give you this last one. You said engaged pedagogy. Teaching is sacred. Sacred. What are you telling us when you say it's sacred coming from a leader?
Well, Bell Hooks, a womanist professor and theologian and educator, she talks about engaged pedagogy, it being sacred, and I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe has on so many different levels. It is. I grew up hearing that it was the key to our success.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that shifted, when it changed, but education was the key and still is the key to our success.
Right.
When we enter this building, it's sacred ground.
That's right.
And sometimes I hit the floor. Treat this place like your synagogue, like the church, like the temple. These teachers are, when we grew up, teachers lived in the community, but we held them to high esteem, right? And so we have to get back to that. I'm talking about teachers that are teaching, and not just people that are in this profession just because, but and so as educators, we have to lift up our profession, instill in our students that education is still the key that will open every door for you, that no one can take from you. And so that's what engaged pedagogy. It's sacred to me. It's like opening the Quran or the Bible to me.
Yeah,
and that's how I take it. Yeah,
I see it the same way. Same way.
Mm-hmm.
Look here, I appreciate all of that, and we covered a lot of ground. I didn't know we were going to cover this much ground, but we did. But we're not done. Go to our rapid fire questions. These are 21 questions I divided by the 3 of you, and they're just, you can give me a sentence or you can give me one word, but if you feel like you're inserting a comma, it's too long. I might have to say, right? So we rapid fire on this. Here we go. I'll start with Stallings. Is education on the right path for underserved children?
Only if we start making these necessary shifts.
Can true equity occur in America's schools for Black, brown, and other underserved students?
Only if we start making the necessary shifts rapidly.
Does Dr. Vincent L. Stallings' work contribute to the progress we desperately need?
Yes.
If you could do a reset on your life, would your line of work be different or the same?
The same.
Why do you continue to do the work you do?
I love to see my students on the trajectory of success.
What fires? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What fires you up within the work that you do?
Seeing my staff and students win.
What do you particularly love about the work that you do?
I love being in that building, man. Opening, waiting for them doors to open.
I love it. Dr. Webb, what do you dislike about the work you do?
The politics sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah, you got that right. What has been your greatest victory in this work thus far?
Seeing the achievements of my students.
What has been your greatest mistake in this work thus far?
Sending an email that was accurate, but it shouldn't have been sent.
I can relate. What has been your greatest challenge in this work?
Politics.
Are you proud of your first year as an assistant principal?
Yeah, yes.
Are you proud of your first year as a principal?
Yes.
Who inspires you in the work you do?
Principal Kafele.
Wow.
I appreciate you,
Man, you don't know how many times I put their videos on and go to work.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Praise God. Principal Williams, what are you reading right now? It could be a book, blog, article, tweet, anything.
Well, I actually went back and reread. I try to do it once a year, The Miseducation of the Negro.
Yeah.
I want to keep it fresh for Black History Month.
Right. Isn't that amazing that a 1933 book could be so relevant in 2004? But I won't start preaching. Here we go. What book do you recommend for our viewers today?
I probably would recommend. I have a ton of leadership books in my head, but I would recommend any of Principal Kafele's aspiring principals or VP books. It's probably what I would recommend.
I appreciate you immensely. Are you satisfied with where you are professionally right now, the space you're in, not the school you're in, but the space you're in?
No.
What could you say to a viewer out there who continues to face closed doors?
To listen, stay low and keep moving. Stay low and keep moving your feet. That's probably what I would say.
Feet moving.
Keep your feet moving. There you go.
What can you say to a viewer out there who's lost their fire? Wow.
For me, it goes back to my faith. I would encourage you to reach back to your faith. It's just generally where I find my hope and strength from. Just me, as a man of faith. So I would encourage you probably to go back there.
I love it. And finally, if Principal Jenabu Williams, soon to be Dr. Jenabu Williams, was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
The definition probably would be he's a proud, humble public servant.
Love it. And that question goes to all my guests. So Stallings, if Dr. Vincent L. Stallings was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Commitment.
And finally, Dr. Stephen Webb, if Dr. Stephen Webb was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
2 words: servant leader.
There you go. This was powerful stuff, man. I really, 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 really enjoyed this. Just having the homies on here. I do that. We had D. Smith and Chase recently. We had others, Judith Stoddard and Stackhouse and Small Bailey recently. I got some more coming on. Roberta Levinson's coming on. With another counselor that I had at North Tech, to Neil Rainey. And we keep it coming, man. So we do the national thing, international thing, but then I also make sure that we get the local homies on here as well. Tell them. Oh, by the way, y'all, fam, thank you for that. The fam is putting all these emojis up because what we do, y'all watch, so y'all know we That's how we applaud our guests. So, folks, I see you already started. You got way ahead of me, and I appreciate you immensely for that. If you enjoyed today's session, as I call it, this is not a show; it's an academy. So today's session, if it resonated with you, if it added value to your work, if there was something you could take with you and incorporate into your leadership, give us your favorite emojis. Just keep them coming. Keep them coming. Whatever it is, if you want to give us like a whole bunch of them, do that as well. But keep them emojis coming. This is the way we applaud our guests. And then while you're doing that, let me get my emoji. Mine is always my Louisville Slugger that I got from Jefferson County in Louisville, Kentucky. They got my name engraved on it. I'm wearing my Jacksonville Red Caps Negro League jersey today. That's all I wear on this platform. I got about 70 of these upstairs of different teams. And y'all hit it out the park. Grand slam. Every time you came to bat, man, the bases were loaded and you brought them all in, including yourself. So this was powerful, you know. And as I say this, I haven't said this lately, but I'm gonna say it now. You know, you can show me whatever university classroom you want to show me, and I'll put these sessions up to any of them. You know, because see, these you know, the guests I bring on, they do this work. They not the professor at the university that's giving you all this theory and so forth. This the ones boots on the ground, 10 toes down. You know, that's who we got here. So this was phenomenal. Y'all might want to watch this several times because so many jewels were dropped, and you might want to tell somebody that missed it today. But once again, Stallings, how did they get in touch with you?
Before I give that, just let me give you your flowers now, man, because this work that this work that you're doing, I'm humbled to be able to hang out
Absolutely
with these brothers right here. If the folks was listening real carefully, these are some amazing brothers right here doing some amazing work on a day-to-day basis, right? But I just want to give you your props for doing this. This is a 199 consistent. You missed a day.
Consecutive.
Right?
Haven't missed
Never missed a week. I mean, you've brought so many guests to the table that are sharing this information. This is godsend for the educators out there. And I know it's what it takes to put a platform like this together.
Whole week.
Ain't nothing like it, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Ain't nothing like it. And you should be commended for the service that you're putting out there.
I appreciate you.
Real servant leadership. That's what we're talking about here.
I appreciate that. You know, you think about, to the fam out there, y'all see me on social media. You know how much I run. I got a flight tomorrow on NBA All-Star game day, so I got to take an early flight so I can see the game. And then I'm on the road all week. Mm-hmm. But yet I'm still doing these 8, 9, 10-page agendas, to prepare for this, because I'm not going to come on here shabby. I'm going to come on here tight. So I'm telling somebody out there, whatever, in terms of your work, you got to be tight with what you do. Your stuff, your work is a reflection of your character, right? So you got to make sure that your character is shining.
That's right.
That's going to manifest through the work that you do. So I appreciate you. And I'll be remiss if I didn't holler at my Aunt Kathy Matthews Baggett in the building. I'm always glad when I see her on here. She's a teacher too, man. She teaches the babies, and a whole lot of like my family that grew up in this house. Their initial reading skills come from this aunt of mine, Kathy Matthews Baggett. She gave them that foundation, man, and she's still in the trenches, man. Right up on Martin Luther King Drive in Jersey City, doing her thing, man. That's it. Webb, how can they reach you?
Again, I like Stone, I want to thank you, brother, for this platform, all that you do, all that you've done across the years. Your work is invaluable. You've helped. You have no idea how far reaching your work has gone.
I agree with you.
As you plant,
yeah,
you'll probably never see the harvest.
I'll never know.
You'll never know. But we thank you. You're a gift to the body, as we say in our faith tradition. You are a gift, and so we thank you for that. And I can be reached on any of my social media platforms, MenWeb 1964 at gmail.com, Stephen Webb on Facebook, Instagram.
Good stuff. And Principal Williams.
Yeah. So again, definitely just thank you for this opportunity to be able to share what God is given to me or allowed me to do. Principal Webb, man, I came and did a commencement at his school. Dr. Stallings, I remember being on the Board of Education, and he came to his school. He was talking to me about hydroponic. I mean, well, before the stuff was even popular. So to be here and with giants in education, you brothers have no idea how much you inspire me. And I'm a little late bloomer to the space, but I remember one of my mentors used to tell me, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut. So I hung around educators was long enough that they pulled me into the space, and I keep a good haircut,
There you go.
So thank you. But no, if you can follow me, Principal.Williams on Instagram, Jenabu Williams, Facebook, Jenabu Williams, LinkedIn. So thank you.
Appreciate that. And I just want to shout out Terry Miles one more time. That comment matters. Wow, you brothers jumped off the table on this one. Tears are coming out of my eyes.
Wow.
Luke Mine.
Luke Mine. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's an East Orange legend right there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Big T.
That's right. All right, hey, to the fam, y'all stay on for me. To the fam, appreciate you being here as always. Before you leave, let me just give you the rundown right quick. Next week is a big one for me. It's number 200. This was big too, 199. 200, man. I was only supposed to be doing this for 18 weeks back in 2020. That's all it was going to be, 18, and I'm out. But as you see, 200 consecutive. God willing, I'll be on next week, right? I got 2 New York City educators on, the Dr. Dennis McKeezy, the founder of Off School Grounds, known as OSG. He'll be one of my guests, and one of another OSG member, Principal Anisha Jacko. Her father was one of the attorneys for Brother Malcolm X. So we gonna have a discussion next week. I'll be remote, but we'll be live. It won't be recorded. I'll be in Ohio, because as soon as I finish, I gotta go to the stage and give a keynote, right? So Lima, Ohio. So that'll be live next week. Live. Let me say it one more time. Live, not a recording. Right. Every Saturday morning, Facebook Live, Sean Hurd at 10 o'clock, Create and Educate, Dr. Sheikah Houston, Dr. Tammy Taylor at 10:30. Unlock the Middle on Sunday night with Principal Josh Tovar and Dean Packard at 7. School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele. Join me July 9 and 10 in Houston, Texas. Go to principalkafele.com. Scroll down to the announcements, click the link, and you can register and then join me in Houston for 2 full days of leadership, July 9 and 10 in person, not virtually. You know my books. I'm not going to put them on the screen again this late, but I'll go to Amazon, put my name in, Baruti Kafele, and all the books I wrote for ASCD will pop up. Y'all been blessing me, man. Y'all been keeping at least 5 to 6 books in the Amazon top 100 for weeks now. I don't know what that is, but I'm blessed by it. I don't see any other author that got that many books in the top 100 at the same time. So keep blessing not only me, but hopefully those books are blessing you with your leadership. Subscribe to the AP and New Principals Academy YouTube channel, and you'll see all 199 videos there. A lot of people ask me, are these recorded? Yeah, they're all on YouTube. So all you got to do is go to YouTube and see them all. And in addition to that, you'll see my Becoming a Professional Speaker series, parts 1 through 4. That's about 6 or 7 hours of content that I've put up so far. And I still got part 5 that I got to do. So that's coming. Make sure you go to that same channel for YouTube Shorts for my midweek fire. Those are those 60-second videos. Those are all sitting there as well. Check those out. Part of what I do. Like and follow the AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page. That's when I write the Sunday morning commentary. So make sure you like and follow that page. And I write a new commentary that is posted exclusively on that page only. I don't have it anywhere else but the AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page. So like and follow that page. Visit principalkafele.com for all my additional resources. And finally, your diet. Make sure you're eating right. I was watching this fight last night. What's my man's name? Oshaki Foster, right? And another brother, Nova. So I cheated, and I ate a whole. I thought I was gonna take 2 potato chips out this bag. I ate the whole bag. It was this big, and I said I'm just gonna take like 2 or 3, close it up. And they got to me, man. They got good to me, man. So I ate the whole Wise potato chips bag. My wife probably came on this morning like, what happened to that bag of chips? And I ate it all, man. I cheated. So I got to make that up now on that treadmill, right? So but watch your diet, exercise. I will be on the treadmill, right? So get that exercise in. If you're not healthy, then everything we're talking about on this platform, you won't be there to do it, right? So make sure you're taking care of yourself. And then all your virus and disease precautions. I used to say COVID, but it ain't just COVID out here now. It's a little bit everything. A, B, C, D, E, pick a letter, and there's some virus associated with it, right? So make sure you're taking care of yourself in however you see best. Other than that, y'all, I'll see you next Saturday at 10:55, week number 200. Have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. Cock that fist back. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Bam!
Bam!
I see y'all next Saturday. Be well, be safe, but be strong.